There are moments in life when we face pressures that seem to come from every direction. And it is precisely in those moments that the words from James 1 speak with a surprising clarity. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. James is not telling us to pretend or to deny our struggles. He is inviting us to see trials through a different lens, one shaped by faith. Because the testing of your faith is not meant to break you, it is meant to produce perseverance. And when perseverance is allowed to complete its work, something mature and whole is formed inside you, something that does not lack anything essential. And James continues, if anyone lacks wisdom, and all of us do at times, you should ask God. There is no hesitation in his words. Ask God, who gives generously and without finding fault. He gives not reluctantly and not selectively, but freely to all who seek him. But James also gives a gentle caution. When you ask, believe. Don't doubt God's willingness to answer, because doubt, if allowed to grow, makes the human heart unstable. James uses a vivid picture. The one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. A person in that state, pulled back and forth by uncertainty, should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person becomes double-minded, unable to stand firm in what they do. Then James turns to the realities of life. Believers who live in humble circumstances are told to take pride in their high position, not because of their situation, but because of how God sees them. And those who are rich should remember to take pride in humility, knowing that earthly wealth fades quickly. James compares it to a wildflower. The sun rises with heat, the plant withers, its blossom falls, and its beauty is destroyed. In the same way, the rich will fade away even while going about their business. The reminder is simple. Earthly status is temporary. Spiritual endurance is eternal. He then offers a promise full of hope. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, for after standing the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. This crown is not made of earthly materials. It is a symbol of honor, of faithfulness, and of God's eternal reward. James also clears up a common misunderstanding. When someone is tempted, they should never say, God is tempting me. God is holy. He cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. Temptation begins within us, when our own desires draw us away and entice us. And when desire is allowed to take root, it gives birth to sin. And when sin is fully grown, it gives birth to death. James presents a clear progression: desire, sin, death. It is a path that begins quietly but leads to destruction if not confronted. Then he adds a tender plea. Don't be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters. Every good and perfect gift comes from above, from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. He is constant, steady, unchanging. His nature remains the same regardless of our circumstances. James reminds us that God chose to give us new birth through the word of truth, so that we might become a kind of first fruits of all he created, set apart, renewed, belonging to him in a unique and intentional way. James continues with a tender and practical appeal. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. He wants his listeners to pay close attention because what he says next reaches deeply into everyday life. Everyone, he writes, should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Human anger, no matter how justified it may feel in the moment, does not produce the righteousness that God desires. It does not create the kind of life that reflects his character. Therefore, James calls believers to put away all moral filth and the evil that is so common around us. Instead, he urges us to receive the word that has been planted in our hearts. Receive it with humility, because that word has the power to save. It is not enough to simply hear it. James is clear. Do not merely listen to the word and deceive yourselves. Do what it says. He uses a simple but powerful image. Listening to God's word without acting on it is like looking at your face in a mirror and then walking away, forgetting what you look like. The reflection is true, but it changes nothing. But the one who looks carefully into the perfect law that brings freedom and continues in it, not forgetting, but doing, will be blessed in what they do. Obedience brings alignment with God's heart, and alignment brings blessing. James then speaks to those who consider themselves religious. If they do not keep a tight rein on their tongues, they deceive themselves and their religion becomes empty. True, pure, and faultless religion in God's sight is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. Care for the vulnerable, and a life guarded from corruption. This is faith lived out.